Ma'am, you are on mute.
No, I know I'm not talking. I just wrote something on it. One more minute, please.
Okay.
So all of you mute yourself. That is very important. Okay. A very good evening. Today we are going to go with phrase, clause, sentence, simple, compound, complex sentences. Okay, which is a very, very important part. I once again repeat, please mute yourself. I cannot come before the phone and tell that do all those things. Please have a control on yourself. Okay, right. Why? Now tell me, friends, what is a sentence? What's the definition of a sentence? He is a group of words. What? Okay,
Which has a meaning.
Which has a meaning. He is a good. It has meaning.
No.
It has a meaning, but not a complete meaning. Good has a meaning, right? A good has a meaning, right? Okay. He is a good boy. For example, what's the basic technical definition of a sentence? A sentence is a group of words which makes a complete sense. Which means when I am a speaker and you are a listener, when I speak about a group of words or I utter some group of words, the thought of the listener has to be completed. Oh, man wants to say that he is a good boy. Okay. Now, if I said one thing. If I say, are you still thinking man will continue? Man will continue, right? But whereas here, he is a good boy, is stating that, yes, he is a good boy. Man said, if I say, but ma'am, continue what is there after if I say you will think. So that if I say is this. Okay. Next phrase. On the bed, in the park, in the well, whatever. Now look at this. Here, all, excuse me. Friends, all these are group of words. All these are group of words. If you see here, all these are group of words. Phrase is also a group of words. Clause is also a group of words. Sentence is also a group of words. So the common thing is group of words. Okay. Now, what is the difference among the three? Next similarity we'll see. First, let us see the common things. Now, if you see here on the bed, do you have any verb action word here, friends? You don't have, right? Then in the well, even here also you don't have an action word. There is no verb. Okay. Phrase, group of words, no verb. Okay. Now, if I say you have a verb, you have a subject. You don't even have a subject. What are we talking about? The person, place, animal, or thing of whom we speak about in a sentence is called a subject. Sentence ever gurinchayte మనం మాట్లాడుతున్నాము, that is called as a subject. So no subject, no verb. Some group of words. Okay. Now here you have a subject, you have a verb. Here also you have a subject and you also have a verb. Okay. Now this is common for three. What is common for two? Clause and a sentence, subject and a verb. And this is common for all the three: clause, phrase, sentence. Okay. And look at the meaning. On the bed has some meaning, no? In the well has some meaning. But still, on the bed, you're thinking, what is it ma'am wanted to say? She stood on the bed, she slept on the bed, or she danced on the bed, or she jumped on the bed. You're thinking ma'am will tell something else. So it's a group of words which doesn't have a subject, which doesn't have a verb, but has a meaning. Okay. Common thing is group of words and everything is meaningful, but this has only half meaning. Okay, that means you can't say it has half meaning, it can be a quarter meaning also, but some sense is there, some meaning is there. Whereas if you come for this clause, if I say has also meaning, okay, but you're still waiting. Thought is not complete. It's not a complete meaning. When it will be complete, when you say something and the other person has understood to the full and will replicate to it, that is called as a complete meaning. Here also you have a half meaning. Okay, so phrase and clause has half meaning. Okay, and if you look here, he is a good boy has a complete meaning. Only one has complete meaning, and that is a sentence. Okay, and what is the common factor between a clause and a sentence? Clause has a subject, sentence also has a subject. Okay, and clause has a verb, sentence also has a verb, but clause has a half meaning and sentence has a full meaning. Understood? Once again, clause is a group of words, sentence is a group of words. Clause has incomplete meaning, which means a half meaning or whatever meaning, whereas this sentence has a complete meaning. That is the difference. Common thing is it has a subject, it has a verb. Which one? Clause. Similarly, a sentence also has a subject and also a verb. Whereas if you look at a phrase, it will be just a group of words which doesn't have a subject or which doesn't even have an object. It just has a group of words, and 99.9% always the phrase will begin with a preposition. Phrase will begin with a preposition. So first you have to understand the difference among the three. First thing is all are group of words. Okay. Whereas phrase and clause has half meanings and sentence has a complete meaning. And the difference between phrase and clause is clause has a subject and a verb. Phrase doesn't have a subject and a verb, but both have half meaning. Whereas if you see the difference between a sentence and a clause, both of them has subject and verb, but clause has a half meaning or incomplete meaning and sentence has a complete meaning. Okay. Now, after this, I am going to tell you more about a clause. You understood the difference, I guess. Did you all understand the difference, friends? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'm going deeper into clauses, which are really very important. Remember, clause has half meaning, but it contains subject and verb. And sentence has a complete meaning, it has a subject and a verb. Now, let us talk about a clause. What is the definition of a clause? First thing, group of words. Second thing, it has an incomplete meaning, or you can say half meaning. Incomplete meaning. Third thing, it has its own subject and verb. So this is the three-step definition of a clause. Clause is a group of words. Okay. And fourth one is also there. Part of a larger sentence. Fourth step definition. Actually, this should be the first. Clause is a part of a larger sentence, or clause is a group of words which is a part of a larger sentence. Okay. And has a subject and a verb of its own with half meaning. Okay. For example, I'm writing about if I work hard, comma, I will be. If I work hard, I will be successful. First of all, is it a small or a larger sentence? Don't tell because of the length, it is a larger sentence. It is larger sentence because normally the structure of a sentence is subject, verb, object. But here you have one subject and one more subject. You have one verb and one more verb. So obviously, which has a second subject and a second verb is called as a larger sentence. Remember that. Okay. So this is a higher grammar, which is really very important to score good marks in your writing part. Right? So listen very carefully. If you want me to explain, I'll explain again and again. This will help you. Right? So if I work hard, he is a part of. See, if you see, this is a larger sentence. First of all, hello, stop it. Okay, look at this first part. If I work hard, let us verify whether it is a clause or not. What are the basic fundamentals of a clause? Clause is a group of words. Yes, it is a group of words. It is a part of a larger sentence. Yes, it is a part of a larger sentence. If I work hard, I will be successful. Part of it. Next is, it has incomplete meaning. Yes, it has incomplete meaning because if I work hard, what will happen? Incomplete, right? Now, next thing is, it has a subject and a verb. If you look here, I is the subject, work is the verb. So this is a clause, right? Mute yourself, somebody is talking. Right? Now, the next one is, again, verify this part. All of you verify this part. Okay. Now, again, this is a group of words which is a part of a larger sentence. Okay. And it has, you can say that it has complete meaning. You see, it is complete in its meaning, but if you add this to this, both are dependent on each other, no? So you can't say that because this is a part of a larger sentence, you can't say that this has a complete meaning. It is not dependent upon this part. That's it. Okay. So this is a part of a sentence which has a subject and a verb and has an incomplete meaning. Why it has an incomplete meaning? Because it is a part of a larger sentence. It is not individually like this. Okay. So therefore, this is also a clause. So clause means group of words which makes a part of a larger sentence having its own subject and a verb. Okay. Now, based on this definition, all of you please write down, keep the heading as clause. I'll tell you the definition, write down. Heading as clause. Shall I dictate? Write down. A clause is a group of words. Only this definition I'll tell you like this. A clause is a group of words which makes a part of it. A clause is a group of words which makes a part of a larger sentence. A clause is a group of words which makes a part of a larger sentence and has a subject and has a subject and has a subject again and has a subject and predicate of its own or verb of its own. If you don't want to write predicate, easily you could understand which has a subject and verb of its own. Okay. Now you understood what is a clause. Now we go for types of clauses, which is very important. You have two types of clauses, main clause and subordinate clause. Main clause and subordinate clause. Okay. Now what is a main clause? Clause is always a part of a larger sentence, I said, no? So between the parts of a sentence, if one part has a meaning of its own and need not depend upon the other part of the sentence for the meaning, it is called as a main clause. Okay, a clause. Main clause is a clause which is a part of a larger sentence, which is individual in its meaning, which doesn't depend upon the other part for its meaning. For example, in this sentence, this is a larger sentence. It has two parts. If I work hard, I will be successful. In this, I will be successful is an individual part which doesn't require the support of the first part. Okay, but you can't call it to be a sentence because it is a part of a larger sentence. Okay, so a main clause is a clause which doesn't depend upon the other part for its meaning. It is independent on its own. Okay, that is called as a main clause or independent clause. Main or independent clause, or a clause which has a perfect meaning. You can't say complete meaning, which has a perfect meaning to understand. That is called as, okay, a main clause. Now coming to subordinate clause. It is a clause which means a part of a larger sentence. A clause which has incomplete meaning. Every clause will have incomplete meaning, but a clause which is dependent upon the other part of the sentence to complete its meaning, to have its meaning, then it is called as subordinate clause. Okay, so a part of a larger sentence which has a clear half meaning, incomplete meaning, clear incomplete meaning, that part can be taken as subordinate clause. In this larger sentence, if I work hard, I will be successful. Which part has complete meaning, not complete meaning, perfect meaning? I will be successful. That is a main clause. If I work hard, what will happen? So it has incomplete meaning. Therefore, that is called a subordinate clause or dependent clause. Okay, so clauses are of two types: main clause or subordinate clause, independent clause or dependent clause. So the clause which has a meaning in itself is called as main clause, and a clause which doesn't have a meaning in itself and dependent upon the other part for its completion of the meaning, that is called as subordinate clause. Now I'll give you some sentences. You will only tell me what are the main clauses and what are the subordinate clauses. Okay, understood now? Full meaning part is called as, I am not saying complete meaning, just to make you understand full meaning, but meaningful part is called as main clause. Okay, a part which has incomplete meaning is called as subordinate clause. Simple definition for our understanding. Now, you only tell me what are main clauses and what are subordinate clauses. Now, first of all, no one is answering today. First of all, tell me, are these sentences normal sentences or larger sentences? Tell me.
Larger.
Larger. Based on what? First, you have to count how many subjects and how many verbs are there. Now, look at the first sentence. How many subjects? I saw a man who is tall. How many subjects are there? Subject
Two.
means sentence.
Two.
Two, ma'am.
No. ఎవరి గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నావు?
I only one, ma'am.
One. Only one subject. Okay, but don't go with the subject. The count goes with the verb. Verb is the main part, you know, spinal cord of anything. So how many verbs are there? Verbs.
2, 1 helping verb and 1 main.
2, ma'am.
Okay, two. What are those? Saw and is. Okay. So whenever you have, normally subjects are understood. Second subject need not be there. Whenever you have more than one verb, the whole sentence is said to be what sentence? A larger sentence. Understand? Now let us look at the second sentence. Now, what are the subjects in this sentence? How many subjects are there?
2,
Second
ma'am.
2.
What are those?
She and he.
She only. What she's. Okay. Give me, Amma. This is me. Me is not a subject, it's an object. Okay. Now, she and she. Me, when it has to be subject, it should be I. Okay. So, she and she are the subjects. Now, tell me how many verbs are there? Said.
2, ma'am. Said and give.
Would give. Okay. Let us take them as two only because would give, would is a helping verb. Right? Now, look at the next sentence. How many subjects? How many subjects? He.
He and he.
Okay. Now, how many verbs? What are they? First part,
Prepared and get.
did not get. Okay. So, prepared and did not get. So, can you call them to be normal sentences or larger sentences?
Larger sentences.
Based on what could you tell that they are larger sentences? Based on the subjects or based on verbs?
Verbs.
Based on verbs. Let us not consider subjects also. Normally, we have to base on verbs. For your understanding, I said subjects. Okay. Now, our challenge is identify. This is an exercise, three question exercise for you. Identify what is the main clause. See, what do you mean by a larger sentence? A larger sentence is understood that it contains clauses. Is it? Because it has two subjects and two verbs, right? So, first of all, we have to divide exactly the sentence into two and identify what is the main clause and what is the subordinate clause. First example which I told you, if I work hard, I will be successful. Half part is here. Anyhow, I put a comma. Now this part has half meaning, so it is subordinate clause. This part has a not a complete meaning, a meaningful meaning. Therefore, it is called as main clause. Likewise, we'll see. I saw a man who is tall. Where should I put a dash? Put a comma to make it a break.
After man.
After man. So I put a dash like this. Now tell me, I saw a man is which clause?
Subordinate clause.
What do you mean by subordinate clause?
Which is supportive to main clause. And has
Subordinate
Dependent
clause.
one.
Dependent one. Now, I saw a man. If you just pronounce it, I saw a man. Oh, she saw a man. Is it incomplete or okay?
Main clause.
It is not a subordinate clause. Subordinate clause means ఏం చెప్తుందమ్మా ఇంకా ఏం చెప్తుందబ్బా అని అనుకుంటే దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఎస్ సబార్డినేట్ క్లాస్ అవునా ఒక పర్సన్ ఉన్నాడా అంటే దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఎస్ నార్మల్ మెయిన్ క్లాస్ సి ఐ సా మ్యాన్ మీన్స్ ఓహో షీ సా మ్యాన్ నౌ just take this away and look at who is tall. Ila, who is tall? If there is a who is tall, normally if it is a question, there should be a question mark. But there is no question mark. There is something called as who is tall and a full stop at the end. That means this is not giving us clarity, you know. So it has an incomplete meaning. A part which has an incomplete meaning is called as subordinate clause. And this clause is called as main clause because this has a good meaning. Perfect meaning in it. I saw a man. Oh, I saw a man. Who is tall? Who is tall? Evaraithe podavo. What is that meaning? It doesn't have meaning. So therefore, this is a subordinate clause. Now look at the second sentence. She said that she would give me some money. Where should I put a break?
after that.
No. Here. Okay. She said what? That she would give me some money. Okay. Normally, maybe you don't know. This is a bit complicated thing for you. Before that only you have to divide. Now, see, she said, ఆమె చెప్పింది. ఓహో ఏదో చెప్పింది కాబోలు. Now here, just excuse me to use Telugu because this is complicated topic I'm using it. Now that she would give me some money. డబ్బులు ఇస్తుందంట. Doesn't. Okay. అయితే ఆమె డబ్బులు ఇస్తుందంట. ఏమైతే డబ్బులు ఇస్తుంది? ఎందుకు ఇస్తుంది? We don't know, right? So this, she said, ఓహో ఏదో చెప్పింది. So this has some meaning in it. Okay. Because of that, this has lost its meaning. ఇది లేకపోతే this would have had its meaning. Because that is there, it has lost its meaning. So this is the main clause and this is the subordinate clause. This is a tough sentence. No, this is easy. Come on. Though he prepared well, he did not get good marks. I gave you a comma here. What is the main clause and what is the subordinate clause?
Second part
It has
is main clause, ma'am.
Why is it a main clause? Correct, it is a main clause. Why is it a main clause?
Because clearly said he did
Ah.
not got.
Very good. Clearly mentioned that he did not get good marks. Though he prepared well, but చదివినప్పటికీను. Okay. Whereas here, he did not get good marks. మార్కులు రాలేదంట. Right? So this is a main clause. This has finished meaning, whereas this has incomplete meaning. Therefore, this is a subclause. Okay. Now here also, this is a subordinate clause and this is the main clause. Two more sentences I'll give you and I'll go into the main topic. Okay. Look at the sentences. Sorry, the mobile has fallen down. Excuse me, children. Yashwant? ఒకసారి అమ్మ. ఇది ఎందుకో పడిపోయింది ఒకసారి చూడ. అదే వేరే అప్లికేషన్లోకి వెళ్ళండి. Sorry, children. Okay. Unless she writes well, people can't read her book. Now, if you look at this sentence, this is a larger sentence. First subject is, friends, what's the first subject?
She.
Here, she. And in the second,
People.
what is the second? Yes, people. And what is the first verb here?
Writes.
Right.
Second,
Read.
Can't read.
can't read. Okay. Now in the second sentence, I is the subject, and again I is the subject. Jump is one verb, and could reach is the second verb. Okay. So both are larger sentences. Confirm. Now therefore they contain clauses. Now let us see. Unless she writes well, people can't read her book. Now look at unless she writes well. Does it have a complete meaning
No.
or else an incomplete meaning?
Incomplete meaning.
Incomplete meaning. Which clause is that?
Subordinate.
Subordinate clause.
Subordinate clause. What's the other name of the subordinate clause? Mute yourself, somebody.
Dependent.
Dependent. Now people can't read her book. It's clear that people can't read her book. Therefore, it is a
Main clause.
main clause. What is the other name of main clause?
Independent.
Independent. Okay. Now look at the second sentence. Host, please take care of the person who is on unmute. Okay, tell me, friends. Meanwhile, what is the second sentence which contains as I jumped high? Which clause is that?
Subordinate.
Ganesh. Okay. So the first one is as I jumped high has a half meaning. Okay, it doesn't have a complete meaning. So nen paiki egre koddi, right? So this is called as a subordinate clause. Therefore, because it has a half meaning, whereas I could reach the sky has a meaningful meaning, not a complete meaning. I can say meaningful meaning. Therefore, this is called as a main clause. Okay. So you understood something about a subordinate clause and main clause. Now, why did I teach you all this? Now, let me tell you. We are talking about one sentence. Before we go to that sentence, we have three types of sentences. Okay. Three types of sentences after combination of sentences. The first one is simple sentence, which is very difficult to write. Simple sentence is really very difficult to write. Second one is compound sentence, which is very easy to write. Third one is complex sentence. Also, if you don't understand what is a clause, main clause and subordinate clause, this is also difficult to write. That's why I stress more on clause. Today we are going to stress upon this complex sentence. Now, what is the definition of a complex? This we are not touching today. This is very important for writing part. Complex sentences style is to be written. Now, what is the definition? 3-4 step definition. Complex sentence is a larger sentence which states that it has clauses in it. It contains one subclause and one main clause combined by subordinating conjunctions. Okay, or else last point is not needed, which I will tell you those words. So basic simple definition of complex sentences is a complex sentence is a larger sentence. It should contain more than one verb, and verb should not be immediate, far away from each other, and contains this one subordinate clause and one main clause. So till now, whatever I wrote on the board, all those are complex sentences only. Okay, they are not. What happened? They are not simple sentences or complex compound sentences. I wrote only complex sentences. Okay. Now let me go deeper into that. How can you make a complex sentence? Remember, definition is a larger sentence containing one main clause and one subordinate clause. Now, I told you the last word, no? What is the last word which I erased? Which contains subordinating conjunction. Now, let me give you the examples of subordinating conjunctions. That, what, when, which, why, who, whose, okay, while, then as if, as though, although, even though,
As long
as long as it's okay, as long as, unless, if, okay, and what else?
Ma'am,
Uh,
does this come if only but also, not only but also?
Not only but also will not come here. That will come under compound sentence. Okay. If, unless, then I was thinking about one more thing. As long as, if, unless. I doubt about this as long as, no? I'll give you clarity again. There are a few more words, one or two words which are still left. If these words will be there in the middle, in between this subclause as well as the main clause to make it a complex sentence. Okay. Now the definition is a larger sentence containing one main clause and one subordinate clause combined by one of the subordinating conjunction. Okay. That is called as a complex sentence. Okay. Now keep the heading, all of you, complex sentence. Please keep the heading complex sentence.
Ma'am, we can write whether, almost. Can we write?
No, ma. Whether, no. Almost, no. They are not under this complex sentences. Okay. They come under simple sentences. Right. Please write down a sentence. Keep the heading complex sentence. A sentence which contains one main clause, and one subordinate clause, is said to be a complex sentence. These are three words which I forgot. So that. So that will not come immediately. Because since. Leave a line and write down a side heading. Note. Write down. The subordinating conjunctions are also called subordinators. The subordinating conjunctions are also called subordinators. Okay. Now leave one line. Keep the side heading subordinators and copy all these words. You can make these many sentences in complex. Keep the side heading subordinators, copy all the words. We'll write examples for every sentence. as long as is also a subordinator. Please copy. Copy?
Yes.
Huh. Now keep the heading examples. Examples. Put the side heading that. Write down the example. I'll just give you some sentences. So using them, you can make your own sentences. Using, keep the side heading that. She made sure, she made, MAD, made sure that everything is in its place. She made sure that everything, don't write is in its place, was in its place. Everything was in its place. She made sure that everything was in its place. Okay. Keep the side heading what. This is what I understand, what I understand from your response. This is what I understand from your response. After writing, you have to divide and tell me what is the main and what is the subordinate. That is your homework. Now, when she can come here, she can come here when the things are fine. She can come here when the things are fine, F-I-N-E. She can come here when the things are fine. Next, which. Which. This is the book. This is the book which I want you to read. Which I want you to read. This is the book which I want you to read. Next. Why? This is the reason why. This is the reason why I have stopped you. I have stopped you to do so. This is the reason why I have stopped you to do so.
Ma'am,
Ma.
The reason why, why, ma'am?
Why, Amma? Why? Side
Okay,
heading is why.
okay, ma'am.
This is the reason why I have stopped you to do so. Next, who? I saw a girl who is very beautiful. I saw a girl who is very beautiful. I saw a girl who is very beautiful. Next, whose? Whose? I will give this award I will give this award for I will give this award for whose answer solves the problem. I will give this award for whose answer solves the problem. Solves the problem. While, WHILE, there's a proverb, write that only. While, make hay, M-A-K-E, make, H-A-Y, make hay while the sun shines. Make hay while the sun shines. That means you have to get the things done whenever the things are better, whenever the things are favorable. That's the meaning. Make hay while the sun shines. Next, as. As he looked into the matter, comma, it was resolved. As he looked into the matter, comma, it was resolved. RESOLVED means solved. As he looked into the matter, it was resolved. Next, as if. As if. He acted as if he was innocent. As if he was innocent. He acted as if he was innocent. As though. He behaved as though means like. He behaved as though he is brutal. 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 He behaved as though he was brutal. He is brutal. If I said he behaved, what was the first part? Did I tell you, friends? He behaved, right?
Yes,
If
ma'am.
it is behaved, the second part should contain was, not is. He behaved as though he was brutal. Was brutal. Although / even though you write down. Both are used for same only. Although / even though / though. 3. Even though is also there. Although, even though. Although I, come on, example. Although I looked into the matter critically, although I looked into the matter critically, comma, I wasn't able to make others understand. I wasn't able to make others understand. Although, even though are equal to but is not complex sentence word, compound sentence word. But is compound sentence. Comes under compound sentence. Now, as long as she pretends to be happy, as long as she pretends to be happy, as long as she pretends to be happy, comma, she cannot make us believe the same. She cannot make us believe the same. She cannot make us believe the same. Next. Unless. Unless means if not. The meaning of unless is if not. Unless I ask you to do so, unless I ask you to do so, comma, you cannot dare to do anything. Unless I ask you to do so, you cannot dare to do anything. The meaning is, if I don't ask you to do so, you cannot dare to do anything. You cannot dare to do anything. Next, if. If he is wise, comma, if he is wise, comma, he can deliver good lectures. If he is wise, comma, he can deliver good lectures. Next. So that. So that. He is so innocent. He is so innocent. See, after so, that did not come immediately. There is one word, innocent. So some words will be there in between. Okay. He is so innocent that he cannot be understood by everyone. He cannot be understood by everyone. He is so innocent that he cannot be understood by everyone. Because / since both comes under same. Whatever, you can write both 2 sentences if you want. I finished my work. I finished my work because I planned perfectly to do so. Because I planned perfectly to do so. Last sentence. Since I worked hard, as is also a complex word. As already gave. Since I worked hard, comma, I achieved success. I achieved success. Now tonight you have to divide those sentences and make them what is the subordinate clause and what is the main clause. All variety of complex sentences with examples I give. Now we go into the second level of complex sentence, which I would tell you right now. Three second level sentences are there. The meanings are same. Look at the sentences carefully. Now remember, very simple definition. Complex sentence is a large sentence or a larger sentence containing one main clause and one subordinate clause combined by a subordinator. And I gave you a list of subordinators and you can use them accordingly. Okay, right. Just use your common sense. There is no rule that where to use what. Use your common sense. If it is a person, use who. If it is a thing, you use which. If it is time, you use when. If you want to say but, you use though, although, even though. If you want to say, normal, a condition, use if or unless. Likewise, just a commonsensical approach. But it should be containing 2 clauses, one main clause and one subordinate clause. Now I'm going to tell you 3 different versions of writing a complex sentence with as soon as, no sooner, dot, than, hardly, / scarcely, when. So this is what we need to learn. Very easy. As soon as, no sooner than, hardly, scarcely, when. For example, how to understand? Meaning is same for all. One sentence if I write first of all, I'll give you 2 sentences. You combine them using all the 3. Okay. First, let us use as soon as and write. I did the work. One sentence. Second sentence. I went to play. I did the work. I went to play. Using as this, let us name this for our rule. Now I'll give you a formula. Okay. Or a formula for all 3. First sentence, you name it as S1. Second sentence, you name it as S2. Okay. Now, whenever you want to combine sentences and write with them, there are rules using S1, S2. S1 means which sentence to be used first or which sentence completed first. For example, I lost my book. I kept my book on table. Okay, two sentences are given. Now in the first instance, I did the work, I said it is S1. I went to play, it is S2. How can you name them as S1, S2? According to sequence of events, whichever sentence happens first. Using your common sense, you can say, no, I did the work. I went to play. I went to play, I did the work. When you go to play, how will you complete the work? So this should be completed first and only then they should be completed. So whichever sentence happened first using your common sense, you tell that it is S1. Now here, I lost my book, I kept the book on the table. Which should happen first? When you keep it on the table only, it will be lost now. So this is S1. Okay, and this is S2. Whichever sentence happened first is S1 and whichever sentence happened next is S2. Now the rule for as soon as is as soon as plus S1 comma S2 full stop. Okay, what is the rule of as soon as? As soon as plus S. Just paste the sentences as they are. As soon as plus S1 comma S2 full stop. Now see here first set. This is the first set. I did the work, I went to play. As soon as I did the work, I went to play. First sentence. As soon as I did the work, comma, I went to play full stop. Second, what is S1? I kept the book on the table. Okay. As soon as I kept my book on the table, I lost my book. Okay. See here. As soon as I kept the book on the table, comma, I lost my book. Understood? So place S1 first and then S2. S1 means not the first given sentence. Which sentence using anybody's common sense happened first is said to be S1. Okay. Now, I told you the meaning of no sooner and hardly sentences is also same. But what is the structure of no sooner than? S1, S2 are the same. Now we are writing the structure. Remember the structure of as soon as comma, sorry, as soon as plus S1 comma S2 full stop. Now we are writing no sooner dot then. Dot indicates some words will be there. It's not then, it is then. Okay. What is the structure? Look at the structure. First I tell you structures, then we do the examples. No sooner plus inversion of S1. Not S1 as it is, it seems. Inversion of S1. In your mathematics, you have inversions, no? Power minus 1 and all likewise. So no sooner plus inversion of S1 plus than plus S2. No sooner plus inversion of S1 plus than plus S2. So what is inversion? Okay, see what is inversion? Inversion means, for example, I am fine. If you just bring the helping verb before the subject, leave the rest of the sentence, that is called as inversion. I am fine. I am doing the work. Am I doing? Okay, but it's not a question, it's just an inversion. What is the inversion? Bring the helping verb before the subject, that makes the inversion. Okay, now if you have a helping verb, it's fine. But if you don't have a helping verb, you have to be careful. V1 indicates do plus V1, which means go indicates do plus go. Right? V2 indicates did plus V1, which indicates went is equal to did plus go. That is inversion. Then V1 plus S or ES is implies does plus V1, which means goes is equal to does plus go. What did I tell you? No sooner, the structure of no sooner is no sooner plus inversion of S1 plus than plus S2. Inversion is nothing but if you have a helping verb in the sentence, I will do the work. No sooner will I do the work. Because will is there, you just jump it before the make it jump before the subject and write. But in some sentences, okay, for example, I did the work. Did is not a helping verb. This is a main verb only. What is the answer? No sooner did I do the work, because did is V2. V2 is nothing but did plus V1. V1 of did is do. So no sooner did I do the work than I went to play. Okay. So sometimes when you don't have a main verb, you have to, sorry, when you don't have a helping verb, you have to assume a helping verb based on these three rules. Okay. So if it is V1, you have to write it as do plus V1. If it is V2, you write it as did plus V1. For example, I lost my book, I kept it on the table. S1 is I kept it on the table. Kept is V2. V2, and you don't have a helping verb. If there is no helping verb, what is the answer? No sooner did I keep my book on the table. Okay. Right? So you have to write the inversion based on the rule. Directly you cannot, and as soon as you wrote S1 as it is, whereas in no sooner you should not write S1 as it is, you have to write the inversion of S1 plus than plus S2. Okay. Now let us check the answer again. I did the work, I went to play. Okay. Or else for your, I completed the work. Now there is no helping verb to bring before. So break this into helping verb. So no sooner did I complete the work than I went to play. Okay. Now here, I kept my book on the table. No sooner did I keep the book on the table, I lost my book. The meaning is as soon as I kept my book on the table, I lost my book. Meaning is the same, but you're writing in another complex sentence form called as no sooner than. Okay. So this is about no sooner. Anyhow, I'll give you the notes. Now, let us go for the last type of sentence, which is nothing but hardly. Structure is hardly slash scarcely. Dot 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 when. Meaning will be the same. Our sentences, you know. Okay, fine. Now let us look at the structure first. First comes hardly or scarcely, any one of the word, plus had, plus V3, plus dot dot dot. Some words will be there in the sentence. When, plus S2. It's very easy. Only confusion sentence is no sooner, because according to sentence, you take the inversion. If it is present tense, you take do or does plus V1. If it is past tense, you take did plus V1. Now here, no confusion. After hardly or scarcely, you write had, then you write V3. V3 means past participle. So, I completed the work. I went to play. Now this is S1, this is S2. What is the answer? Hardly had. Okay. Hardly had plus here subject comes. Hardly had plus I. Hardly had I completed the work when I went to play. I write the answer C. Hardly had. Subject should be written. Subject is I. V3 of completed is completed only. Hardly had I completed the work when, same as it is, when I went out to play. Second sentence, no need to change. Okay. which means as soon as I completed the work, I went to play, which is equal to no sooner did I complete the work than I went to play, which is also equal to hardly had I completed the work when I went to play. All three give the same meaning, but you have written in three different complex sentence forms. For example, hardly had I completed the work. It has half meaning. It is subordinate clause. No. Hardly had I completed the work has complete meaning. When I went to play. When I went to play doesn't have a question mark. Okay. So therefore, if it is not having a question mark, it is a question mark for us. This is a subordinate clause and this is a main clause. As soon as I completed the work, I went to play. As soon as I completed the work is subordinate clause. I went to play is the main clause. No sooner did I complete the work than I went to play. No sooner did I complete the work. That is a main clause. Than I went to play is the subordinate clause. So all these three sentences are complex sentences only. Okay. Now all of you, please copy this, which I write on the board, then write one example each. I saw the tiger, S1. I ran away. Simply you want to write a complex sentence, you write, when I saw the tiger, I ran away, right? But I'm asking you to write a different style so that the other person will understand you have a good knowledge on English. And it's not difficult. Now, write down. As soon as
I saw the tiger, I ran out.
as soon as, first let us write plus S1, comma, S2, full stop. Then, no sooner. What is the answer? No sooner, saw becomes did plus?
Did I see?
No sooner did I see. So, no sooner plus inversion of S1 plus than plus S2. Then, what is the answer for the last sentence? Hardly had plus subject plus V3 plus when plus S2. Okay, first you copy this 3. Then you write this example. We'll discuss the answers. Copy this 3. After having copied, write the answers also. Tomorrow, the last topic of grammar required for IELTS, subject verb agreement, and we'll also discuss about speaking. Intro on speaking also will be given to you. Tomorrow, 2 topics of grammar, which just takes 15 to half an hour, 15 minutes to half an hour. Subject verb agreement, sequence of tenses. That completes what is required for IELTS. Tenses, voice, simple, compound, complex sentences. Then these. Simple and compound are not needed because you normally write them. If we just extend them, it will be a grammar plus, full grammar plus. If it is TOEFL, you require simple compound sentences plus speech also. IELTS, they are not needed. Okay, write down the answers. As soon as I saw the tiger, I ran away. As soon as I saw the tiger, comma, I ran away. Full stop. No sooner did I see the tiger. No sooner did I see the tiger than I ran away. Then I ran away. Hardly had I seen the tiger. Hardly had I seen the tiger. Hardly had I seen the tiger when I ran away. Meaning is same for all three. Hardly had I seen the tiger when I ran away. Second sentence need not be touched. It can be written as it is. Okay. The next thing you have to know is some similarity you have to know. This is also important to you to write variety of sentences. You were talking no before and anywhere you want to use and, you can replace it with as well as, not only dot dot dot, but also, and besides. Okay. And can be replaced with as well as, not only, besides. For example, he ate a cake. He drank a glass of milk. 2 sentences are there. He ate a cake, he drank a glass of milk. Okay. He ate a cake and drank a glass of milk is a common sentence. Now, instead of using it in a common way, let us write it in a different way. He ate a cake as well as drank a glass of milk is one sentence. He not only ate a cake, but also drank a glass of milk is another sentence. This one I'll write on the board. Besides is equal to, the meaning of besides means in addition to. Meaning of besides is in addition to. Okay. Look at the structure. Structure means I won't write. Just an example I'll write. Besides. Okay. What is the sentence? Besides eating. After besides, you have to use an ing word. So ate will become eating. Besides eating a cake, comma, he drank a glass of milk. See, instead of and, we use 3 expressions as well as, not only, but also, and in addition to. Copy this, and is equal to. But has so many words, which I'll give only examples for few. All the words I'll tell you. And is equal to, as well as, not only but also, besides. And write besides example for besides. This one as well as this one also copy, because these two are easy to make. Tough one I'm giving you. After besides, this ing word should be there. Now I'll write one more example. He is tall. He is fat. He is tall and fat. He is tall as well as fat. He is not only tall but also fat. Now see, besides. Now after besides, I said you have to write an ing word. Where is an ing to be written? No action. Very good. So you have a B form. Is, am, are, was, were are B forms, no? So you cannot write easing. So you write being. Very good. Besides being tall, comma, he is fat. Copy this also. So this ing is important after besides. For that only I wrote the second example. Now after this, I'll tell about but. I'll tell about but, or, and so. That completes today's class. Okay. Erasing. Write down. But is equal to, write along with me. I'll write, but you still write. The words which I write, copy them down. But is equal, but implies yet, still, however, nonetheless, nevertheless, notwithstanding, in spite of, despite, of will not be there, only despite. In spite will have of, despite will not have of. Despite, though, although, even though. So these are the words which can be used instead of but. Okay, he worked hard, he did not achieve good result. He worked hard, but he did not get good result or achieve good result. He worked hard, yet he did not. He worked hard, still he did not. He worked hard, however he did not. Same meaning. He worked hard, nonetheless he did not. Same. Nevertheless he did not. So till here, in the middle you used. Okay. Now, even here, the middle words I'll tell at the end. Though, although, even though. Though he worked hard, he did not achieve good result. Although he worked hard, even though he worked hard, he did not achieve good result. Now, I'll tell you tough sentences. I told you, no, when I told you simple, compound, complex sentences, simple sentences are difficult. The sentences which you are writing with notwithstanding, in spite of, despite are simple sentences. Simple sentences take 1 week to complete. Okay, therefore I'm giving you shortcut methods. Even besides is also a simple sentence word. Okay, now see, in spite of. What is our sentence? He worked hard, he did not get a good result. In spite of working hard, comma S2. S2 means as it is, you can write the second sentence. Now, despite working hard, comma S2, full stop. Notwithstanding is a very different sentence, but it is a simple sentence. And I didn't tell you what is a simple sentence. Simple sentence contains one subject and one verb. Okay, see here, in spite of working hard. Working is not a verb here, this is a participle. So this requires a lot of grammar input to you, basic input to you, therefore I'm not touching simple sentences. Right, now let us see notwithstanding. Notwithstanding, he did not work hard, right? Notwithstanding his hard work, comma, S2. In spite of working hard, he did not achieve good result. Despite working hard, he did not get good result. Notwithstanding his hard work, he did not get good result, which means he did hard work, but he did not get good result. Meaning is same. But this is a different style of expression. So these sentences are also very important. I gave you in the list. In spite of, despite, and notwithstanding. Please copy this. Five more minutes, we'll wind up. Finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now write down or. Or has two sets. Or is equal to else, or else, otherwise. Okay. Where the other words are not related to or, but they are a set of or. Either dot 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 or neither. You pronounce it as either or, neither nor. Either or, neither nor. If X and Y has happened and there is only one chance of happening, one chance, then you will use either or. If there is no chance, then you use neither nor. Look here. Come in, full stop, go out. These are two sentences. Come in is one sentence, go out is another sentence. You are a human being and you can do only one thing. No? You have a choice of doing only one thing. If you have only one chance of happening, you have to use either or. Either come in or go out. Okay. Waste not, want not. Either waste not, want. Either you, no. That is if sentence. That's the wrong example. So come in, go out. Okay. Now, this one. Don't come in, don't go out. Since you don't want to make happen anything. then neither coming nor go out. If no chance of happening is there, go for neither nor. And if there is only one chance of happening of an event, use either or. This has one chance. Now, or means, okay, do this or do that. That is also under do either do this or do that. Do this or do that. So either or also comes with or. Okay, do this. You have to pay for this. Okay, if you don't do this, you have to pay for this. Do this or you have to pay for this. Pay in the sense in the form of a punishment. Okay. So or can be used in the form of else or else otherwise. Otherwise is used in rare parts. Okay. Do the work, otherwise you will be punished, or else you will be punished. If you don't do the work, you will be punished. That is the actual sentence. Copy this. Then the last one we write. So,
మ్యామ్
ma.
neither ఆర్ అంటే ఏదైనా ఒకటి
ఏదో ఒకటి జరిగితే either or యూస్ చేయాలమ్మా.
మ్యామ్ neither మ్యామ్
neither nor అంటే ఏది అసలు జరిగే ఆస్కారం లేదు.
ఓకే మ్యామ్
ఓకే. డోంట్ కమ్ ఇన్ డోంట్ గో అవుట్ అని ఇచ్చాను అనుకో నేను సెంటెన్సెస్ ని అప్పుడు ఎలా కలుపుతావు యూ హ్యావ్ టు యూస్ neither nor. ఓకే, neither come in nor go out.
ఓకే మ్యామ్ ఓకే మ్యామ్
Finish it off fast. Erasing. So, last one. So, you know this. So is equal to hence. Therefore, for. When can you use for in place of because? I'll tell you an example, you will understand. Because, as, since. Okay? For example, don't smoke. Full stop. Smoking is injurious to health. Don't smoke. Smoking is injurious to health. Okay, now let us see. Smoking is injurious to health, so don't smoke. Smoking is injurious to health, hence don't smoke. Okay, smoking is injurious to health, therefore don't smoke. Don't smoke for smoking is injurious to health, which means so don't smoke because smoking is injurious to health. As smoking is injurious to health, don't smoke. Since smoking is injurious to health, don't smoke. So is equal to all these words. Make a note. Only of the words. After making a note, we can stop the class. Finish writing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good night. Tomorrow we'll meet you at sharp 7. Thank you.